Okay, can we start the class? Let's look at question 12. Please look at question 12. Question 12 is also on ABC, activity-based costing. Now, can you all look at the question? Because I'm sharing this question with you. Can you let me know? Can you see the question I'm sharing with you? Please let me know if I'm sharing. You can see it?
Yes, teacher. Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Now, this question is focused on ABC, activity-based costing. Now, remember this, the activity-based costing is a full question in the midterm exam. So you must know how to handle it. So here, the Parker Company produces mathematical and financial calculators, and they operate at capacity. When I say operate at capacity, I mean they are working at full capacity. The two products data are presented, mathematical and financial calculator. The annual production units for mathematical 60,000, financial is 120,000 units. Direct material costs, direct manufacturing labor costs, and direct manufacturing labor hours, followed by machine hours, number of production runs, and inspection hours are given. Now, total manufacturing overhead costs are as follows. Machining costs is 720, setup costs 150,000, and inspection costs 135,000. Required, choose a cost driver for each overhead cost and calculate the manufacturing overhead cost per unit for each product. So for machining costs, the appropriate cost driver is machine hours. Setup costs, number of production run. Inspection costs, I use inspection hours. So these are the cost drivers I have to use. Then only I can calculate the overhead cost pool. What is the cost driver? So look here. For machining, machine hours. So machine hours is 720,000 divided by total machine hours. That is, add up the machine hours for financial as well as for mathematical count. Add up, you have the total hours. So 720 divided by the total hours give me $6 per machine hour. Setup costs, the cost driver is production run. So the rate is 150,000 divided by 60 plus 60, 120. Divide that, I get 1,250 per production run. For inspection, I use inspection hours. and divide that total overhead by the hours, inspection hours, I get the rate, $60 per machine hour. With this, I can calculate the overhead cost per unit. For machining, 6 times 40,000. And for financial, 6 times 80,000. Setup, 1,250 times 60. And then 1,250 times 60. Inspection, take the inspection 60 times 1,500 hours. I get 90,000. For financial, 60 times 750, 45,000. So this is my total manufacturing overhead cost. And then I divide that by the number of units. Mathematical 60,000, financial 120,000. So the manufacturing overhead cost per unit is 6.75 and $5 financial. Once I know the manufacturing overhead cost per unit, I can then find out the manufacturing cost, which is direct material plus direct labor plus the manufacturing overhead. The manufacturing cost per unit is mathematical 12, financial 10.25. Then the third part of the question asks, how might Parker's manager use the new cost information from his ABC system to better manage its business? So you see here, disaggregated information, which is ABC method, where we separate the information for each cost driver. So by splitting up the information or disaggregated information, we can improve decisions by allowing managers to see the details that help them understand how different aspects of cost influence total cost per unit. Managers can also understand the drivers of different cost categories and use this information for pricing and product mix decision or cost reduction and process improvement decisions. And look at the next part. Managers can understand the drivers of different cost categories and use this information for pricing and product mix decision, cost reduction, process improvement decision, design decision, and to plan and manage activities. However, too much detail can overload managers who don't understand the data or what it means. Also, managers looking at per unit data may be misled when considering costs that are not at unit level costs. All right, so this is how I will explain the differences between the ABC method and the traditional method. Question 13. But before that, is there any questions you'd like to ask me? Because by now, some of you might have gone through the earlier ABC question. See whether you have any questions you'd like to ask me. If not, I move on to question number 13. Question number 13 is on standard costing, which says, calculate the material quantity variance, total direct labor variance, direct labor quantity variance, direct material price variance, and total overhead variance. For material quantity variance, you look here, they expect to produce 30,000 units, and the actual results show they produced 31,000 units of product A. Then they've given us the actual labor costs and the direct labor hours. Actual material purchased and used during the year, 346,500, and they used 126,000 pounds. And actual variable overhead incurred was 155. Actual fixed overhead incurred was 205. So there is overhead as well here. Compute the following variances, showing all computation to support your answers. Indicate whether the variances are favorable or unfavorable. Material quantity variance. Look at the formula. Material quantity variance is $6,000 unfavorable. Actual quantity times actual price minus standard quantity times standard price. That will give you material quantity variance. So actual quantity is 126,000 and standard quantity is 124,000. So it works out to be $6,000 unfavorable. Therefore, standard quantity is equal to 31,000 units, 4 pounds per unit material, so it's 124,000. That's how I calculate the standard quantity. Then total direct labor variance. The direct labor variance is 2,200 unfavorable. How? Actual hours times actual rate minus standard hours times standard rate will give me the total labor variance. So I have the actual quantity times the actual rate, the actual hours times, standard hours times the standard rate, and standard hours is equal to 3 times 31,000, 93,000 direct labor hours. And the standard rate price is $8. So when I work it out, I get 2,200 unfavorable. Then direct labor quantity variance. Quantity variance is actual hours times standard rate minus standard hours times standard rate. So they've given me the standard rate as $8. Actual hours is 91,000 given in the question. And the standard hours is 93,000 times the standard rate. So it'll give me 16,000 unfavorable. Material price variance, see the formula? Actual quantity times actual price minus actual quantity times standard price. Actual price is $2.75, standard price is $3. Therefore, the resulting variance, 31,500, is favorable. And total overhead variance is actual overhead minus overhead applied. Actual overhead they've given me is 155,000 plus 205,000 here. Variable plus fixed. So total is my actual overhead minus overhead applied. So it's 93,000 times $4 because standard hours is 93 times $4 per hour. So it works out to be 12,000. Favorable. Next comes question number 14, which is also on variance analysis. But in this part, I want to look mainly at the overhead variance because there are two variances, overhead volume and overhead controllable. And techno budgeted factory overhead is 640,000. Overhead applied is based on widgets produced. And the estimated company has said 10,000 widgets could be produced. However, only 9,600 were produced, actual quantity. So overhead volume variance is equal to normal hours minus standard hours. Normal hours is 25,000, standard hours is 24,000 times the fixed overhead rate, which is 16. And 16 is made up of total 40 divided by 2.5. 40 divided by 2.5. Okay, give you 16. So 16,000 unfavorable volume variance. By controllable variance, the formula is actual overhead minus overhead budget. Okay, This is how you find out the overhead controllable variance. Now, all these items you have studied. So you take note when you say overhead control, I take the actual overhead. So actual overhead is fixed overhead plus variable. Overhead budgeted also fixed overhead plus variable. So take the total overhead. And that's how I got 7,650 favorable. Now, any query, any questions, students? Next, I look at question 15, which is on budgeting. How to prepare the different types of budget. Study the question first. They want us to calculate the production budget, material budget. They say Fuqua Company sales budget projects unit sales of part 198Z of 10,000 units in January, 12,000 units in February, 13,000 units in March. Each unit or part requires 4 pounds of material, which costs $2 per pound. Fuqua Company desires its ending raw material inventory to equal 40% of the next month's production requirement, and its ending finished goods inventory to equal 20% of the next month's expected unit sales. And this goals were met on 31st December. So you see how I do the production budget. For production budget, I must take the expected units sold for January and February. And they've given me that. And then to this I add desired ending finished goods inventory. The desired finished goods ending inventory should be equal to 20% of next month's expected unit sales. So the expected unit sales for January will be 20% of 12,000 units. So it's 20% of 12,000, so 2,400 units. And then less beginning finished goods inventory. So this will be finished goods inventory. They say this goals were met, so the ending inventory to equal 40% of next month's production. So I have to determine what is the production for next month. So I find out less beginning finished goods inventory 2,000, which is 20% of 10,000. And then desired ending finished goods inventory for February will be 20% of the March sales. March sales is 13,000 units. So take 20% of that. And that's how I got the figure, 2,600. And the beginning finished goods inventory will be the closing inventory of January becomes the beginning for February. So my required production units, 10,400 in January, 12,200 in February. This is the production budget. Then they say prepare direct material budget for January 2017. So this is my direct material budget. Take the units to be produced in January times 1 unit requires 4 pounds of material. So 10,400 times 4 give me the total pounds needed for production, 41,600 units. Pounds, sorry, 41,600 pounds. And to this I add desired ending inventory, 19,520, which is supposed to be 40% of 12,200. Design. And that comes to 19,520. So the production at the desired ending inventory will give me my total material required. From that, I minus the beginning direct material, which is 4 times 10,400 times 40%. 4 because each material unit of material requires 4 pounds of raw material. And we are supposed to maintain 40%. So this gives me the material purchases. Multiply that by the cost per pound, $2, and that gave me my total cost of direct material purchases. Now I want you to have a look at this question because you have done this topic. But remember, this topic is not tested in the midterm exam. I'm only testing you on the variances. Any query you have? Any questions? Then I move on to the next question on variance analysis. Now look at this again. I want you to try this question out first, all of you. I give you 10 minutes to try the question. All of you try the question. Very important. Okay, students, I hope all of you had a chance to try the question. After so many questions we have done, it says, Hello Enterprises recently experienced a fire, forcing the company to use incomplete information to analyze operations. Consider the following data and assume that all materials purchased during the period were used in production. Now, direct materials, they're given us the standard price per pound, $9. Actual price per pound, $8. Price variance is 20,000 favorable. And total direct material variance is 2,000 favorable. And take note, material variance can be divided into price variance and quantity variance. Then direct labor, actual hours worked, 40,000. Actual rate per hour, 15,000. Efficiency variance is 28,000 favorable. And total direct labor variance is 12,000 unfavorable. So you know labor variance is equal to efficiency plus usage or quantity variance. Sorry, efficiency plus rate variance will give you 12,000. Quantity variance, total labor variance. Hello completed 12,000 units. So from this, determine the following: direct material use, direct material quantity variance, direct labor rate variance, standard labor rate per hour, and fifth item, standard labor time per finish unit. Okay? Of course, the finish units is 12,000 units. So how can I work it out? I can use the formula or I can work out like this. Okay? So material variance, look here. Actual quantity is 20,000. Actual price is $8. And actual quantity is 20,000. Standard price is $9. So actual quantity times actual price give me the actual material cost. And actual quantity times standard price will give me the standard price variance. Okay, this is the actual quantity, standard quantity. This actual is the standard quantity. And that standard materials use is equal to standard quantity times the standard price. So direct material quantity variance is equal to this 162 standard, actual is 180. So 180 minus 162 will give you 18,000 unfavorable. Whereas for price variance, you notice, is favorable, which is actual price minus standard price times actual quantity. So you can see here, 8 minus 9, you get 1 times actual quantity, 20,000. You have 20,000 favorable. That is my price variance. You can write the formula or you can prepare in this format. So actual material used, I have the answer. Direct material quantity variance, I also have the answer. So actual material use is 20,000 pounds. Yeah. Direct material quantity variance is 18,000 unfavorable. So for labor, the same thing. Actual hours times actual rate, give me the actual labor cost. Actual hours times the standard rate will give me the standard cost for actual hours. So the difference is 40,000 unfavorable. And that is my labor rate variance. Because the actual rate is higher than the standard. So that's why it's unfavorable. And then for efficiency variance, look here, they have given me is 28,000 efficiency. So from that, I can calculate the standard labor rate per hour, 14. Plus actual rate minus standard rate times actual hours will give me the labor efficiency variance or the labor rate variance. So from here, I can then find out what is the standard labor time per finished unit. My finished unit is 42,000 hours. That standard hours. Divide by 12,000 units, and I get 3.5 hours standard labor time for finished units. Because the question says the completed units is 12,000. So from that, I can determine, since I know the standard hours, divide that by the finished units, will give me the rate, 3.5 hours. Now that's how I answer this question. Okay? All right? Is there any more questions? Let me just check. Okay, that's all the questions. Now, the whole purpose of looking at this revision question is to narrow down the discussion and preparation for you to focus on the questions that are needed for the midterm exam. So in the midterm exam, I told you you have one question on variances, one question on ABC, and one question on allocation. The theory question I'm asking in the exam is question number 2. All of you take note. This is I narrowed down this full theory question to this, telling you how to allocate the support department costs to the operating departments, the 3 methods. Okay, this question is question I'm testing you in the final exam, in the midterm. And then one question on ABC and one question on variances. That's all. So I wanted to focus on these questions in the midterm exam. Is there any questions you have? And please, in the midterm exam, there's one discussion question I have included. The discussion question is 7, 8. Question 7 and 8, either one I'm testing in the midterm. So I want you to revise these two. Please take note, whatever the questions I've discussed with you here, I will upload the answer for you in the LMS. All the questions I've discussed today, I will upload the answer for you so that you can review the answer together with some, because there are two questions on variances which I have not done, so you can try and check the answer. I will upload the answer for you. Okay? There's one more question, the theory part, question number 11, theory, which I also discussed. You can include that, but the question I'm focusing more is either 7 or 8. That's yeah, 7 or 8. This is question 7, and this is question 8. Now, is there any questions you have while I just check this out for you? Students, if you look at the LMS, I've just uploaded the answers for the revision questions I discussed today. All the questions, sir. See whether you have received it. Can you please check your LMS? I just uploaded the question. I said midterm revision question Q&A. You can use this as guidelines to revise for the midterm exam.
Yeah, I see it.
You see it, huh?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you. Thank you. I hope all the others have is in the LMS. So I want you to use this when you revise the questions and also do some of the questions there. Okay, I already told you what is the theory question I'm asking, so focus on that. Now, is there any other questions you have, students? Let me know. Now, please take note when the December we will be doing the final revision for the final exam. So I hope to see all of you because this one is face to face, not online. So I will be visiting the campus in December. So I will then check with you. I will meet you all and then we can have a discussion.
Teacher.
Yeah?
I have a question.
Okay.
The theory question will focus on question 7 and 8, right?
Yeah. This is
Okay.
not the revision, the theory question, but the assignment discussion question. Discussion question, you look at 7 and 8. But then a full theory question is question number 2.
Okay. Thank you, teacher.
Which is the allocation of support department costs to operating department. The 3 methods I told you. Do you see that? All of you, do
Yeah.
you see the question?
Yeah. I see it.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah. Thank you, teacher.
So I hope all of you have taken note of that because this is very important. I'm narrowing down for you so that you can just focus on the calculation in the revision time. Because I want the calculations to be done correctly. I don't want your work to be split up. And I think when you do the exam, midterm exam, try to do question by question. So when you do question 1, you do question 1 A, B, C, D. That question 2 A, B, C, D. Now I want you to do together. Because sometimes I see your paper, question 1, part A, 1 page. Part B, another page. I don't want like that to be answered. Because when I review your work, I have to be very careful. And that's the reason why sometimes students, they think they have done well. But when I mark it the way you presented it, you lose marks. So I don't want you to lose any marks. Remember? I hope you can remember that. Because the last time round, when I was moderating the scripts, the assignment, and the exam, I had a tough time. Because I see page 1, I see question 1, part A, part B. That part C, later level, later page, say page 4, I see part C there, small part. Part D, page 8, I see the answer there. I don't want you to split up like that. Okay? Keep that in mind. Sometimes you don't know how much space to give. You just make a note. Okay? I'm just trying to help you to make sure you get good marks in the exam. Because this is one subject when students do all the work correctly, very easy to score. When I say score means I want you to get grade A or B or grade A plus. Okay?
Okay, thank you, teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other students, any question? Come, Antu,
Oh, yes.
any question?
No, I don't have. It's enough.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So when I see you in the final exam, I hope to um, get good answers from you. You all must do a lot of work because now we are having online, so I can't look at your work to see what you have done. But remember, in the final, when we do face to face, I want you all to do the work. But that's the only way you can be sure of doing well in the paper. Okay. Now, if there's no further question, then I will end the meeting now. Because the idea is I want to see whether you have any question.
Uh,
Yeah?
can you send this record to LMS? Okay.
Which one? Which one?
Uh, uh, can
Yeah?
can you send the records to LMS?
I see LMS, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, re record today.
Oh, the recording of the lecture.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've already recorded. When I get it done, I will post it to LMS, okay?
Okay, okay. Thank you, teacher.
Yeah. Because at the moment I've stopped the recording because it will come in later. Then I will pass the recording to you. Okay?
Okay, thank you, teacher.
Yeah. 21 Mai. I don't know whether I pronounce it correctly, but just see. I've just, yes. You're very busy here now. Are you listening? Tuyệt Mai. Because you're supposed to be in the class now. Okay?
Uh,
Yes.
Teacher, in the question file you upload to LMS, I just need to look in there. Can I get a good score?
Wait, LMS?
Yeah. You-
Question 5. Wait,
Uh, can
Yeah.
can can you read my messenger to
I cannot read
chat?
your message, but question 5, I've given the answer there. Don't you have the answer there? Let me just check, okay?
Okay.
The answer is there, what?
Yeah, I see this. Thank you, teacher.
Have, Is there any question you want to ask me?
No, thank you, sir.
Okay,
Okay.
No, if there is any, please let me know so that I can correct it for you. Because sometimes, so when I copy and paste, I must have missed out, no? So you are the one who have to let me know.